Hi, in today's video we're going to take a look at pinning an application to a specific Git revision using Nixos flakes. The reason why you might want to do this is because of a bug or an issue with the package not building properly. If we have a look at this page, it describes how you can actually set up either a particular branch like 2505 or a particular Git commit for an application so that you can pin that application to that Git commit. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this was because I was running Davinci Resolve on Nixos Unstable with Home Manager, and I had an issue where when it was trying to build, it got a hash mismatch with the derivation. So what happens is with the package.nix file, it usually specifies a zip file that's going to pull down and the hash of that zip file. And what was happening was it was actually saying it specified this hash, but it was actually getting another hash for the zip file and so wouldn't build. So what I'm going to do is actually take you through how you can actually pin an application to a particular Git commit so that you can build Home Manager and update your applications, but still have that application pinned to that particular Git commit. So these are the resources. That's the page I just showed you. So first of all, what we need to do is actually find the Nix PKG revision hash you want to pin from your flake.lock. So in this case, we want to use Nix PKG revision from GitHub so we can install Davinci Resolve using that revision. So this was the Nix hash that was actually working in my flake.lock. So this is the bit of code here, the revision, and you can see in the expanded code where this actually comes from in the Nix PKG section down here, revision EE930. What we can do is we can use this awk command to actually extract the git commit hash from the flake.lock file rather than manually going through and trying to find it. So as you can see in this case, the output is EE930F9755, etc. So this was the flake.lock that I was using as an example to show you the full code. So you can see down here Nix PKGs and the revision. So this is the bit of code we actually need to use. So I'll just scroll down here. So what we need to do is add the git commit hash as an input. So what we do is we first of all find the particular revision, and what we need to do is actually create a variable name that will be referencing that git hash. So as you can see here, what we have is Nix PKGs EE930F975.url. And these numbers here actually correspond to the first couple of numbers of the git hash so that we can easily identify it in our code. So what we do is we create this new variable, and what we do is we add that to the input. So you can see here the input section of the flake.lock. We have the nixpkgs.url for the unstable, and we've added another nixpkgs for that particular git commit hash. So what we need to do is also add the hash as an output in the flake as well. So you can see here in the outputs we have self, Nix PKGs, Nix PKGs EE930F975, and then Home Manager. We then also need to add that as a special arg in the flake.locks lock file. So you can see here extra special args, PKGs dash the number, import, Nix PKGs, inherit system, config, allow, unfree. Now I'll show you the full flake.nix file rather, and the output and extra special args. So First of all, what we have is we have the inputs. We have the Nix PKG's variable that we've created with the git commit hash here. Then we have the outputs with that reference. So you can see here, what we have is Nix PKG's EE930F975.url. But in the outputs, we omit the .url. So we just have this section here. And then finally, down here in the extra special args, we have this section here, PKGs-EE930F975 equals import Nix PKGs-EE930F975 inherit system config allow on free. And that's the first step, is creating those new bits of code in the flake.nix file. So what we need to do now is set up our home.nix to use that. So we're going to create PKGs-EE930F975 as an input. So in the input section, what we have here is config PKGs and then the PKG that we've created. And we can install Davinci Resolve by prefixing it with PKGs-EE930F975.Davinci Resolve. And this is what the complete home.nix file will look like. So up at the top, we have config PKGs, then this bit of code here that's getting passed in from the flake.nix. And if I scroll down, what you'll see here is this line here under home packages equals with PKGs. We basically prepend the new bit of code to the application that we want to pin, in this case, Davinci Resolve. So we've got PKGs-EE930F975.Davinci Resolve. That's all we actually need to do in the home.nix file. And then we can run nix flake update home manager switch -- flake and the name of the flake. And what that will do is that will build a new derivation with home manager and update all the other packages, but keep Davinci Resolve or whatever package you've pinned to that particular git commit hash. Because otherwise what happens is if one package fails, the whole derivation will fail to build, which is a bit of a pain. So the only other option you'd have really is to comment out that application and build a new derivation. But obviously that would mean that that application wouldn't be installed. So this is a good workaround for actually pinning an application to a particular hash. So if I switch back here to this page, what you can actually see is you can actually define multiple inputs. You can have unstable, you can have a Nix PKG's stable release, so 2505, and you can also pin a particular application using a git commit hash to lock the version like this. If you scroll down here, you'll see the extra special args where they're actually specifying stable and the hash for a particular git commit. Now, one thing that had me stumped when I was looking at this was they're actually specifying a couple of ways you can do this. And what I first tried was actually putting in two home manager sections, but that's not correct. What you want to do is, as I said, in the home packages with PKGs, you can just prefix the application with the bit of code that I showed you. Now, there's another section down here where it says pinning a package with an overlay, but I believe this is actually more suited to libraries as opposed to applications. So as you can see in this example, they're pinning Mesa to a particular revision. So I tried using an overlay, but that didn't work. So let me just go through my setup. So what we have here is the Nix flake. So what you can see is I have the particular revision here, this commit, this git commit hash, the inputs, and the extra special args down here. So the inputs up here, well, the inputs is up here, rather. This is the outputs, and then the extra special args. So there's only 3 things you need to do in the flake.nix. And then if I come into Home Manager, you can see up at the top, what we do is under config pkgs, we pass in this from the flake. And then simply under home package, home.packages with pkgs, what we can do is then prefix that bit of code to the application we want to pin to that git commit hash. So I hope that helps out. If you're having issues with a particular application not building and you want to pin it until the issue is fixed, and once you get your head around it, it's quite easy and very useful. So I'll put links to all this under the video, and that's all for now.